I see you're darkening my door again for the Retro Tech 120p challenge. Please do come in, take your shoes off. I'll make you a cup of tea. But please, don't drape your scrotum over my satchel. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, yeah, so Cameltry, you can probably guess the general fact already. It's about rugby players. Haha, that's about camels. But we're not get there yet. So let's talk about the challenge first. Basically, there's a group of us on Facebook who play arcade games every week. You can join. I don't care who you are, as long as you love me. But yeah, you can join in, and it basically join the group. Have a look at the challenge for this week. If you fancy a go on it, please do join in. You can have as many practice goes as you want, but as soon as you press record, you get 2 credits, and that's it. Usually it's how far you get. Cameltry, a bit different, because once you complete a course on Cameltry, your credit's gone. It's just how well you do in that course. So yeah, the rules are a bit nebulous this week. So we've decided to go with the beginner course and the special course. And then there's a course after that, and the course before that. But the first course is pretty straightforward, which is the training one. So we've decided to kick that into touch, and basically you'll use your credits. You might not get any further than the beginner course. You might struggle with it. But I would imagine that the winner will come from someone who has competed in both courses, and it might well, in the end, come down to the time and how quickly they managed to finish those 2 sets of courses. So, yeah, Anthony's pick, very good game. You might remember it on the Super Nintendo. It was a 1989 Taito game. It came out on the Super Nintendo, as I said, the FM Towns and the X68000. It was called On the Ball in Western countries on the Super Nintendo. So if you remember that game, that's this. It was compatible with the Super Nintendo mouse, from what I recall. And you'll want to use your mouse when you're playing this, because I couldn't get it working with the joystick anyway. Yeah, use a mouse for this one, because it was a paddle game back in the day, a dial game. So yeah, use your mouse with it and see how far you get. And you never know, you might win, because I won last week playing a game about sailing, which is a bit unexpected. So yeah, this also came out, I think, it was part of the Taito Legends and Taito Legends power-up packs for the Xbox 360 and PSP and PlayStation 2, I think. Might have got that wrong. But and it also came out on the iPhone. And there was a remake of it on the DS. And I'm going to be careful how I say this. Mawashite Kurun. And yes, shite is the name. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed this game. It was a good pick by young Anthony. Quite a simple idea. You just sort of rotate a maze. It's like that Sonic 1 level, the bonus level in Sonic 1, which I prefer to the one in Sonic 2. I'm not a big Sonic fan, but I think I do enjoy Sonic 1 more than Sonic 2, which again I know is heresy, but then I don't like Sonic at all, which is even more heresy. Actually, I've grown to like it a lot more. And it wasn't because I was a Super Nintendo versus a Mega Drive person. I had both. So, yeah, this is me not knowing there's a button to jump. Because if you press one of the mouse buttons, your little ball there does a little jump like it's on a pinball table. However, I have an incredible stroke of luck and get an extra 20 seconds, because you get this little thing that before you lose your credit, you get a little bonus chance, and I managed to land it in the right place, got the extra 20 seconds, and didn't lose my credit on the beginner's course. So I jammed it. Whether or not that counts against me in the final reckoning, we shall see. But yeah, like, really, I don't know, I really like it. The music's, I don't know, there's a real 80s sound to the music in this game, which is delicious to me. It sounds a bit like, I don't know if you remember the old McEwen's advert for where you had the Sisyphean task where they had to roll the ball up. And that song never gets talked about now, but I used to love it. It went do 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 do. But yeah, really cool song. It's on YouTube. But yeah, boy, am I going off on some tangents. So let's instead talk about genitals, because that's not a tangent at all. And it's, yes, of course, we're talking about camels' genitals, even though there's no camels in this game, as far as I've seen. There might be in the background, because I've seen fish. Look at those balls. 2 balls together, living happily ever after, just like the ones in your trousers. But yes, camels. So this was actually pretty fascinating to me, because... One, obviously, I wondered how camels meet. They're wandering around the desert or whatever. I've like real trouble here doing the name entry. Anyway, see, I'm an artistic player. You're not. Camels. Back to camels. Yes. So, yeah. One, I wonder how they meet. Is there like a camel Tinder where they meet in the desert? The other thing was, I was like, well, most things are sort of accessible. When a man and a lady get together, they slot together nicely. How does that work with camels with all that extra junk on their back? So, yeah, camels have humps on their back, as you well know, as we start the second course, first credit down. And so what they do, apparently, is they both have to sit down. She opens up her external genitalia, and the boy gets to stick his junk in. So they both sit down and they sort of mate. He sort of... So that's good, isn't it? So it's a sitting down. It's that they are... Apparently, camelids are the only ungulates to mate in a sitting position. So now you know. What other facts about genitals? Well, I could talk about the act itself, because... while mating, the male and the female make grunting sounds, and when they're about to reach the vinegar strokes, so the man one starts frothing, and Homer Simpson looking at a donut, I guess, and the lady one sort of starts making whinnying noises. So. But yeah, great. And yeah, basically during their time together, the chap will ejaculate 3 or 4 times during a single mating sesh. So he's got I would say staying power, but 20 minutes isn't that long really. If he's ejaculating 4 times in that time, it's like I guess, what was that, maths, kids? One every 4.5 minutes, I guess. So could do better. Could do better, camels. But yeah, that's what I've got to tell you about camel sexual intercourse. As Real Generic Demon said last week, quite rightly, I need to burn my computer in the backyard because my internet history is well dodge. Because of this. Anyway, and just because of that. Trust me. Please. What else to tell you? Oh yeah, so what's coming up on the channel? Surprising hit last week with Napoleon Dynamite. I don't quite know why that did as well as it did. Napoleon Dynamite game on the DS and PSP. And yet it did. This week I've just got Gargoyles. It's one format. It's the Mega Drive. Disney-esque escapade. So a bit similar to Aladdin. Oh, and look at me. My chances are over. Yeah, so we've got Gargoyles this week, and next week I've got lined up Zoids. I don't know if you're a Zoids fan on the Spectrum, the Commodore 64. The Amstrad is the Zoids, the battle begins, or something like that anyway. So yeah, there's that to look forward to. Yeah, certainly enjoyed this game. Good pick, Anthony. I think I can see someone doing pretty well and finishing the whole lot. Anthony probably being one of them. He's got a deft touch, that boy. So yeah, well worth joining in this week. But for now, I'm going to take my leave of you and say thanks for coming, and Kay, thanks, bye.